Hello, trading is closed on January 2, 2019. We had a few calls. First was we were likely to gap outside of the range of Monday, and that happened. Thought the move would be down. That happened. Next most likely was we closed a little change, 4 points or less. That happened. We had a price target which is often out of range. When you gap smartly in the other direction, it isn't a call. It won't print. It just means we can't be as confident it will, but it did. During the day, MEJT said ultimately higher price would print, but the move was false and would retrace. Said this drop was false and would retrace. We have a negative pattern here in that we rallied all day long and we couldn't close over any of these highs. Unless we gap and take these highs out early, it should lead to lower prices. We have an ultimate sell signal. Here's your target. It doesn't have to print tomorrow, but futures are already undercutting this level. And it's not really a stretch, since this usually prints reasonably quickly. It isn't a stretch to imagine this will print early. Assuming it does, it's not good for the market. The reason is tomorrow's a pattern with an early low and a late high and tends to be a bullish day. The one time it isn't bullish is if you drop early. So if we can't recover from these early lows, we'll have an early drop. Unlikely we'll break this high, and when you have a low to high day, which ends up negative, which is what I would assume would happen, can't prove it yet, it usually leads to further weakness the following day, which is Friday. It doesn't mean Friday has to close down, but if we get an early drop and can't really recover in spades, the weakness will probably extend into Friday. Now after we printed this, we can do our report card for 2018. We had out of 650-ish targets, 150 ultimate and 500 standard. Every ultimate target printed. Out of 500 or so, that's the average every year. I didn't count them all this year. Standard targets, we have 5 which didn't print. That's 1%. Having a failed target at a major change in trend is part of the system, as is having failed targets during periods of strong impulsive moves. These don't really fit, but I guess out of 650 targets, I guess a little rain must fall. But these numbers should still print at some time. They just don't have to print anytime soon. Before those targets in October, the last failed target we had was April of 2017. So in about a year and a half's time, about 1,000 plus targets, everyone printed. You just don't always print when you want them to. Tomorrow, if we can't recover from the early weakness in futures, there's a good chance we'll see this. And even though the day is low to high, if the day stays weak, the weakness should extend at least into Friday. What the bulls need to do is to promptly overtake this high. It's unlikely that's going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't mean it won't happen ever. This is 3 waves up, and it could be an ABC, but I'd be happier if this were A, this were B, and we had a wave C, at least in the high 2500s and possibly in the 2600s. But that's looking pretty far ahead, and that's not what I really do. We have the game plan for tomorrow, and we'll see if it works. That's today's call.